Hey, Nathan Duensing with Mossy Oak. We're gonna do venison kebabs with flatbread, cucumber salad, and tzatziki sauce. I love this kind of made like a sandwich. It's a great alternative when using your some of your steak cuts. We've got sirloin here that we're gonna cut up to make the kebabs out of. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut them the size you want to put on the grill. You don't want to make them too big. About 1 inch squares, cubes. It's really important for any of your steak cuts with venison that we're cutting in a way that we can grill them really fast. We don't want to overcook this meat. So we want to, after we marinate this, put it on skewers, we're gonna get it really hot, the grill, and then we're just gonna it's going to be maybe a minute or so on each side, and real easy to grill up real fast. So with the marinade, we've got olive oil, lemon, cumin, turmeric, clove, and coriander, and a little bit of salt and pepper. You've got a really refreshing salad in the cucumber salad, and again, the tzatziki sauce is bright and refreshing. Some of these spices are really kind of bold, and it works really well with those refreshing flavors of the cucumber and the yogurt sauce that we're making. So first, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to this, a little bit of salt, pepper, and go in with the cumin. Amounts can change. If you want a little bit more, going in with turmeric, of one thing or the other. Again, and then you got like clove, which is like a really fragrant baking spice. So you don't do a whole lot of that, but these, they can vary. If you like more coriander or cumin, you could add a little bit more than what the recipe calls for. Coriander goes in there, but it's kind of your preference. You make this recipe, and then you kind of tailor it to what you like. So we're gonna cut the lemons here. I do this where I cut the ends off, and it just makes it very easier. You kind of can get the seeds out, and it's easier to squeeze the lemon juice in. And this is going to marinate for an hour or 2 hours. You can just put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate for a couple hours, and it's going to pick up a lot of those really great flavors. Just make sure it's well incorporated throughout through the meat, so you don't have all the spice on one. Just gonna move it around so it looks like it's all evenly distributed. That looks great. We're just gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it go for 2 hours and let it marinate. All right, so now we're gonna make our cucumber salad for our venison kebabs. Got some cucumbers out of the garden here. Really simple salad. We're gonna take these cucumbers, cut them in half, and just slice them fairly thin. And next we're going to julienne a red onion. And next we're going to add some mint to it. Again, this salad's super fresh. It's really great. All right, so then we're going to put some mint in, just a couple of sprigs of mint. Goes in there, and then we're just going to basically add some white wine vinegar, just a touch of olive oil. Just helps bring everything together in the salad. A little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. We're just going to toss it all together. All right, next we're gonna skewer up our venison. So I've got bamboo skewers, and what we did was we soaked these for about a half hour to an hour in cold water. It just helps them so they won't burn. And you don't want to squish them together like really tight. You want them to be loose and just touching. That way when you grill them, they'll grill real even. those all skewered up. All right, so now we're gonna make our flatbread. So I've got a flatbread recipe I really love, and this will work with any pizza dough recipe you find, a pizza dough you like that you found online. I know everybody kind of has a preference on what they like, but this one works really well for me. I'm gonna basically just I'm gonna portion this out. We can make small little flatbreads here, about the size of a pita. That's kind of the goal here. We want, now that they're punched down, kind of roll them in balls. And for this recipe, you don't need a rolling pin. This is something that you can do, by hand. Just kind of form it out. All right, so we're gonna form our flatbread dough. So we got our little balls. I'm gonna use olive oil to stretch these out. But basically all you're using is your hand just to kind of really carefully stretch this dough out. Again, it's gonna be at the size of a pita bread. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to recreate here. You're wanting to get it about 1/8 of an inch thick before you put it in the pan here. So put it down on the cutting board to stretch it out here and get it the size you want. So while you're making these, I've got my grill getting hot. Again, I want this grill to be really hot because whenever I put the venison on there, I want it to char really quickly. I don't want to overcook the venison because once you do that, it becomes tough and something you don't necessarily want to eat. You may get a couple of holes in your flatbread. It's okay. You can kind of pinch that shut. Again, this isn't something that has to be a perfect science. This is, this flatbread. Got a large cast iron pan here. We want to get this medium-high heat, not scorching hot. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. Make sure it's coated on the bottom, and then we're just going to take our flatbread. We're just going to lay it right there in the bottom of the pan, and you can kind of hear it sizzle. Again, you don't want it to hear a really hard sear on it whenever you put it in there. That's when you got the pan too hot. The dough is not going to come out really good. So you want to see the oil kind of lightly dance in the pan. And we're going to actually cover this, kind of create like an oven in that pan. We're going to let it go for a couple minutes. All right, while that flatbread's cooking, we're actually going to put our kebabs on the grill, get the grill really hot. Again, you want this to get a really good sear really quickly. We're gonna let that go for maybe a minute and a half. We're gonna check our flatbread here. You see it kind of bubbling up, and then you got kind of brown edges, a little bit brown in the middle. It's risen really nicely. We're gonna put that dome back on there again to create that kind of an oven style in the lodge. So the heat kind of goes over and it continues to cook that bread in there. All right, so I'm gonna take the lid off and I'm gonna let it kind of continue to cook just a minute more. Check these venison skewers here. Nice grill on that. All right, so we've cooked these skewers for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes on both sides. For me, they're perfectly cooked. They're gonna be rare, medium rare, and that's how I want to eat my venison. So we're gonna take some of these that's rested. We're gonna build right on top of this flatbread. So we're just gonna take the skewer and pull the meat off. We got some tzatziki sauce. Tzatziki sauce is Greek yogurt, cucumbers, white onion, lemon, dill, and mint. A little bit of salt and pepper in there. Again, really refreshing with this. So we're just gonna drizzle that kind of over your meat. And we're gonna top this with some of that cucumber salad. Made from the garden here. You got tomatoes, red onions, mint. And there you go. It's our venison kebabs with tzatziki sauce, cucumber salad on flatbread.